Okay, so modern women date like this, and so should you. How do they date? Well, let's talk about this. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I feel like this needs its own video. And there's going to be a difference between my tribe members under 40, so in this 20 to 30 zone, and over 40. We're just going to have a different play on this. But what's going on? Women have tons of access. They have tons of male friends. They're getting hit up on Instagram, other forms of social media. They got their friend group. They got a plethora of dating apps, all on their phone, constantly being hit up by guys. Girl, you go live your best life. You have your H phase. Get the most out of life. Do this, do that. And that's what you think is making you happy. Go for it. So how do you exist and how do you date while all this is going on? You must take a cue from them and do the exact same thing. And here's why. I think generally men prefer to date one person. I really think women do too, but there's a lot of culture pressure for them to behave this certain way. In order for you to survive in this dating market, you got to do the same thing. You've got to have your Instagram account. You got to have all the dating apps. You got to have a circle of close girls who are your friends. She has a circle of guys who are her friends. You need to have the same to level the playing field. I talk to a lot of guys. They meet a girl, they want to go out with her. They want to see what it's like. They want to develop a relationship with her. They want to pursue that. I think a monogamous relationship is really what everybody wants. But we get all these signals that, hey, you should want this, you should want that. And there's the fear of missing out. So a lot of women are pursuing this, whether it works or not. In order for you to survive with your emotions, you need to do the same thing. Guys 40 and up, like me, we just don't have the time or the patience to do anything like that. I prefer to date one woman. I don't have the time to text and keep it going and having all these friends. I have old friends I've had for years. I'm not interested in keeping in touch with a lot of women and having that and playing the field. I'm just not. I don't have the stamina for it. I don't have the interest for it. I prefer to date one woman. If you're under 30, this is going to crush you if you do that. Your emotions are going to get crushed because of her access. And if you're not doing that same thing, your emotions are up there to be crushed. And they really are. If something goes wrong, she's got all these guys in the background she's going to go off with. Text communication isn't perfectly right. She has all these other options and she needs to live her best life. So she's going to go off and do that and go out with other men. It's very rare that people are going to try to work it out in this under 30, under 40 age group. If you're the only one doing that and you're going in and you're all in with one-itis and I've met her and this is just who I want to be and it breaks up, it doesn't work out, she's immediately onto something else while you're sitting there crushed with no options. And here's what happens. This is why you're seeing all this. Men are giving up on dating. You might want to have children one day, and that's great too. I think you should have all those options. But if you're going to set yourself up to be crushed because you're dating one person and you don't have a lot of female friends and you don't have a lot of options and it suddenly didn't work out, you're going to be like, forget this. And I think you could take a cue from what women are doing. They keep this circle of male friends in the background. Is this optimal? No, but this is the age we live in. And you can't deny that you have emotions. And as a man, you could get crushed. And a lot of guys I talk to today, they don't really have that emotional resilience to get dumped and to move on. It just hasn't been developed for a number of reasons I've spoken about before. But in order to protect yourself and to keep yourself dating and in play, you want to be able to pursue and find someone who's right for you. Just because it didn't work out with one person, it doesn't mean it's not going to work out with someone else. So in order not to get crushed, You need to do the same thing. You need to live your best life. You need to explore your options, and you need to keep this social circle of female friends in the background. Having that social circle is going to pay off for you no matter what. Even if they're just your friends, they have friends. If you break up, you'll have access to other women to date who you are going to possibly feel compatible with. You can't just be dating one. You meet her and 2 weeks later, she's the only one for you, and you're not talking to your friends anymore. You're just 100% focused on her. No, you need to maintain those female relationship. Guys in your 20s and 30s, you need to maintain multiple female friends in the background, just like a fair majority of modern women are doing. I don't know if they're all doing that. I'm sure there are women that aren't, but they are being heavily encouraged by culture to do that. And I do understand FOMO, fear of missing out. I go to the gym. All the women have the same sneakers. All the women have similar kind of tattoos. They want the things that their friends want. They like a trend. They like doing that. Of course, there are guys the same. Most guys I know have a sleeve. 10, 15, 20 years ago, no one had a sleeve. So there are trends, and people, like what other people are doing. They get interested in that. And that's perfectly natural. I don't want the people who come to my channel for advice to be left out in the cold. I don't want this. I'm giving up on dating. I'm 100% going to focus on myself. You're giving up too soon, and you're not participating in a way that's conducive to protecting your emotions until you find the right person who you can let your guard down a little with. I don't want everyone giving up because they got emotionally hurt. You're going to get emotionally hurt dating. Is that avoidable? No, it's not. But it doesn't mean you should give up. You got to keep going, and you got to stay in play. You got to have friends. You got to develop your social circle. And this includes having many and multiple female friends. They will be very helpful to you in normal life. They're a great asset. And they're also going to be very helpful to you if your present relationship doesn't work out. It's great having female friends, and it's great having those options. As a young person in today's dating market, you need to maintain options. You can't put your head in the sand and say, I met Sally, and after 2 weeks, I'm in love, and I'm going to blow off my friends. I'm not going to make new female friends. I'm going to completely focus on her. And then what happens? It doesn't work out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Maybe you're not compatible. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're going to give up. Don't put yourself in that situation. Oh, it's too hard. She's gone. I got dumped. I got ghosted. Now I'm going to be in my apartment or in my house depressed for 3 months and not working out and not pursuing my goals, and not participating. I made a video recently called Date Like an Ant. And it's this one right here. Watch that after this, because they really go hand in hand. Oh, everybody, I wish it was different. I wish it was like in the 80s and 90s. It was simpler times, and it was easier. But with access in the phone now, it's a completely different playing field. And you can't act like a guy in the 80s and 90s as a 20 or 30-year-old man today. You just can't. You will get crushed. What will happen is exactly what I've laid out in this video. Maintain your female friendships. Encourage those female friendships. If you're not comfortable dating multiple women at 20 or 30, that's okay. I think most men aren't. We really don't want that. And I think most women aren't either. They really don't want that. Culture is so strong and constantly reinforced by our phones and these messages we're getting, and you go girl, and everyone knows. I don't have to repeat this. Women are encouraged really to have multiple options. You cannot be left out and not have that as well. What are we going to do? Are we going to fight present culture and the phone? This is a strong wave of what's going on. This culture is strong and things have completely changed. You have to change with it. You have to, as a man, you got to roll with changes. That's what we do in business. That's what we do in life. You have to tap into your strength. You are much stronger and more resilient than you think. But when it comes to our emotions, we have to take into consideration how they affect us. We have to develop resilience, but we need to do certain things in order to keep us in the game so that we can get stronger. So that these periods of time in between, like when it doesn't work out, sometimes you don't want to go out with her anymore, and that could be discouraging. Sometimes she doesn't want to go out with you anymore. She's met someone new. You just weren't compatible. That's natural. You have to move on. And the quicker you can move on, the better it's going to be for you. Gentlemen, a girl you've known 3 months, 6 months, a year, you don't really know her very well. And that goes the same for her. We're all putting on our best face in the beginning. We're more charming. We let stuff slide. We're interested in each other. It's fun to have someone you connect with or feel like you connect with. I don't want you to rob yourself of the potential of a relationship just because one didn't work out. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen more frequently than it did in the past. For the guys who are listening to this over 40, you're probably going to feel like me. We don't have a lot of time. And we come from a generation where we dated one woman at a time. We see it will work out, and hopefully it did. That's where I'm at. I don't want to do that. I don't want to maintain an Instagram account and update with cool photos of me having a great life so I can have social proof. I don't want to do that. It's too much time. I got other things going on. I'm interested in dating one woman at a time, and I feel like not only most men are like that, but especially gentlemen over 40. We come from a different generation where we didn't have to compete with all this access. But as a younger man, you have to take advantage of this access. You have to keep women in your social circle. You have to have these friendships. Women are very valuable, and they can be valuable as your friends too. They have great input. They have their own social circles, which you can be a part of. They're a lot of fun. They're very interesting. They have a different perspective on things that is very valuable to you. Remember, they're being influenced by current culture too, and they can't be blamed. You're being influenced by current culture. You make certain decisions because of the wave of culture. I see this over and over again, men getting down on women because it doesn't work out. Or, I tried dating, I tried asking girls out and they turned me down. Yeah, go ask out another 20. You're giving up too easy. Increase your social circle. Make friends with girls. Have fun with them. Invite them out with your other friends. Be social with them. These relationships are very valuable. I have friendships with women from way, decades ago. It's very nice to have those relationships with them. Good people. They know my family. Some of them I've grown up with. And I think it's fabulous. Maintain those female relationships. Protect your emotions a little by having these options. When you don't have these options, this one girl can become way too important. And your emotions will trick you into thinking she's super wonderful. We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. Not everyone is as wonderful as you think they are. She's got influences. She has desires. She has confusion. She's dealing with a lot of emotions. So you need to take it easy on the women in your life, the women you date. It's okay that she doesn't want to date you anymore. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And it won't be the end of the world if you keep this social circle that includes a lot of women. This is just, it's valuable. I see guys in there, they think all women are this way, or nah, F them. Because this one girl did this, or You asked out 3 girls and they all turned you down, or some of them were rude to you. I What are you going to do? I've had that happen to me. I told this story in another. I was just walking up to a girl. I was gonna ask her something about a restaurant or directions. I don't even know what it was. She just put her hand up in my face like that. I laughed. You do not know what she goes through. She could be hounded. I could have been like the 5th guy who came up to talk to her that day. It, it can be exhausting, what's going on. You gotta understand and be kind and be patient and not take it too seriously and getting butt hurt every time it doesn't go right. Modern women keep a lot of guy friends. What are you going to do about that? All you can take care of is what you do yourself. And I would recommend having a lot of girls who are your friends. Not only is this good for you emotionally and intellectually, you become more attractive to the woman you're dating. You're out, other girls are coming up to you, you're in class, other girls know you, other girls are inviting you to parties. You have a strong social circle, which includes many women. In today's world, you should have that. You really should. And you should have choices just like she has choices. Should you try to work it out with someone? Of course. You should be patient. You should be kind. You should be a gentleman. But if it doesn't work out, it's okay. And if you have this social circle in the background, you're not going to get butthurt. You're not going to make it overly important. You're not going to spend 3 months crying in your bedroom because Susie and Allison and whoever it is decided she likes, Troy and Damien better than you. You think she's making the best decisions? No, she's not making the best decisions. Do you make the best decisions? No. Do I? No. I make mistakes. I make mistakes. So does she. So allow for this. Keep your emotions from getting out of control, especially when you're 20. These emotions are strong and you're not used to them getting crushed. You're not used to that. So it takes some time to deal with that. And you're going to have an easier time dealing with that if you have this strong circle of friends. You need guy friends and you need girls who are your friends as well. This is going to help you when you're dating. Take a cue from modern women. You can't be in your 20s and 30s dating like you're in 1985 and she's dating like it's 2025. No. You kind of have to match and mirror what's going on in the female culture by having all these friendships, by keeping them alive, even when you're in a relationship, until you decide, I'm going to pursue a relationship with this girl. And you still need to have those people as a friend. These are valuable friendships. And as you go through life, you need to have male and female friends. You really do. Guys in your 40s and 50s, it's okay if you want to date one woman at a time. I do. I don't want to do all that. And that's what works for me. There's just not enough time in the day. And I just don't have the desire to do that. For my younger tribesmen, it's going to work out better for you. I talk to guys at 20, 22, 21. They're all in. They meet someone and they get all in. They stop coming to the gym. I know they're not being as social with their friends. And then they set themselves up for defeat. They get crushed. It doesn't work out. And their emotions are devastated. And it takes them a long time to recover. Some of them get a bad attitude. It's not fair. She doesn't have to love you. It doesn't have to work out. We're diverse. We have diverse backgrounds. We have upbringings that are very diverse. Some people are single parents. Some people never got to see a healthy relationship between a man and a woman. If you grow up in a divorce, do you ever see your parents working things out together, being kind to each other? No, a lot of us are raised in a divorce and the parents are contentious. That's all we remember. Like, we're like 8 years old and they're fighting and they're dropping off and picking up, and that's a fight, and there's the new boyfriend and there's the new girlfriend on that side, and there's a lot of contention, and sometimes the parents badmouth each other. You have no idea about how a healthy relationship works out. And then you have TV glossing everything over and making you think men are this way and women are this way, and it's all not true, and it's confusing. My parents were together, and it's still confusing to me. It's tough when someone doesn't love you anymore or isn't interested in you anymore. But if you do what I've laid out in this video and you have a strong social circle and you have female friends, it helps. It helped me a lot recover and move on from when things didn't work out. It protected me from caring way too much about something I have no control over. And it could be a good thing that she didn't want to go out with me anymore, or I didn't want to go out with her anymore. Your background's couldn't be right. The things you desire could be very different. And you just learn that, and then you're moving on. So allow for this. Allow for this moving on. Allow for modern culture. Be kind. Always be a gentleman, no matter what happens to you. Be respectful to people who don't want to go out with you anymore. It's okay. Hey, that's okay, Lisa. It's okay. I enjoyed my time with you, and I wish you the best of luck. This is what being a gentleman is. This is what's being a strong man. This is what maintaining your frame is. She doesn't have to go out with you. It doesn't have to work out. Not every relationship is going to lead to marriage and children. And you're going to learn, and you're going to feel more comfortable, and you're going to recover quickly from breakups, or quicker if you have this social circle, if you're friends with a lot of women, and you maintain those relationships. Okay, everybody? If you got something out of this video, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you along, and I love to hear everybody's comments. That helps everybody. People have different experiences. You know, it's important to hear all sides. So make comments if you feel like you want to have something to share. It's much appreciated. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.